I think the banks in the Western world, where there isn't as much of a digital currency impact. I think in China, yeah, I wouldn't want to own the banks for the very reason you highlight. Well, look, at the end of the day, here's what we know. If we think of the internet as, sort of the first sort of technological big wave, the first big revolution, and the smartphone was the second. If we think of basically digital currencies being the third, what we know is every one of these things have basically killed the middleman, right?
Mm-hmm.
The middleman whose value was limited has been killed by these things. So, to a large degree, you could say, well, a lot of what the commercial banks do is middleman work. They get in between a saver and a borrower, and in order to make money doing it, they're doing it with more and more leverage, because otherwise it's just they really can't justify their own fees. So they have to do it with more leverage. And yes, I think the third wave, the sort of digital currency wave, yeah, I think it very much threatens the bank, no doubt about it. I would go one step further, though. I mean, if you want to go down this path, if like me, you believe that all these technological progress that we've made in the past 25 years really end up basically killing the middleman. There's still one very prominent middleman in our system that has yet to be killed, and that's the politicians. We've invented representative democracy at a time when, traveling from one part of the country to the next might take forever. So, where I come from in France, I come from the southwest of France. A century ago, it would take a week to get to Paris. So, what you would do is you would send, a local guy that was trusted, maybe a doctor or a lawyer or a trade unionist or, somebody that had the people's respect. And he would go to the capital and you would represent your interests. And then he would come back every now and then and report what was happening in the capital. But today, we all know what's happening in the capital before the politicians do. Information flows freely. And really, we don't, why are we paying for many layers of representative government when, we could just go down the path of Switzerland and just have, through technology and through blockchain, have elections on every important issue. The Swiss vote every weekend. Through technology, we could do it through our phones now. How do you feel about this? Yes or no? Boom, done. Move on. So there's still a lot of technological progress and a lot of middlemen fat to take out. And the next big middleman fat to take out, I believe, will be in government. And here you'll have the countries that move towards direct democracy. And I think this is you're already starting to see moves towards that in some countries like Scandinavia, some of the smaller countries, the Netherlands, Scandinavia, Iceland, etc. And then you have the countries that, instead of reducing the fat in their government, keep on increasing it. This is what, of course, you're seeing in the United States. The countries that keep on increasing the fat in their government, I think, will end up the big losers in the next technological waves.